All right, welcome everybody to another Hobby CNC with Dave. Let me go ahead and bring my skeleton. Got a skeleton crew tonight. This Paul Carlos is my sidekick for tonight, and I believe he's going to be the only one. Uh, Ryan is out of town celebrating turning a half a century year old. So
We remember those days, right?
yeah, that was quite a while ago. Well, I know it was a while for you. It was quite a while ago for me too, but yeah, well, when Ryan comes back, we're probably going to have to, talk louder, stuff like that, 'cause like I said, he is a half century year old now. So, but I hope he's having a good birthday and enjoying whatever he's doing. Where was he going? The beach or someplace? I think
He was
wasn't
going to Orlando,
it? Oh, Disney
Disney.
World or whatever it
Yeah,
is. Okay,
the greatest place on earth.
yeah, that's what they tell us anyway.
Yeah, the most expensive place.
Yeah, yeah, I would think it is, but. All right. Well, I got a lot to talk about tonight, which seems like I do every week, don't I? Not some real important stuff, but a lot of stuff nonetheless. Plus, I got some cool project fix I'm going to show here in a little bit. We're going to be talking in a little while about the latest Carveco announcement. And I also want to talk about Vectric a little bit. So we'll talk about Carveco and Vectric and AI and what that has to do with either one of those companies. And anyway, lots to talk about. But before I get started doing that, I will make one little thing. I got this email today from my from the good folks over there at OMTech Laser, and it says that tomorrow, Thursday, August 21st, which is tomorrow, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock Eastern, which is really the only time that matters. But they're going to be doing a live demo plus a Q&A with their CEO. And they're going to be doing a giveaway of an OMTech Solis, Solis, and a rotary and an air purifier. Now, the whole purpose of this live demo tomorrow is they are launching the OMTech Solis dual laser marker. And I went and tried to look, see if I could see what that thing looks like. And apparently, when they say launching, they're not telling anybody until tomorrow because I didn't see anything on their website about it. But anyway, just wanted to share that with anybody. And of course, everybody should know if they've been here before that I am an affiliate with OMTech. So I have a discount code that's listed right there on your TV screen or your device screen or whatever you happen to be looking at. Use Dave Gatton 5 off and get 5% off of anything you order from the OMTech website. And maybe you'll want to get you one of those Solis dual laser markers, whatever that is. I don't really know what it is, but anyway, you might want to get you one. Paul, we were chatting before we went live here, but I didn't tell you. Guess what I did today? You'll never guess in a million years.
Okay.
Go ahead and take one stab at it if you want.
You, let's see, you bought an air conditioner.
No.
Oh,
Right
well,
about now, I wish I had done that, but I did not do that. No, what I finally did is I finally got around to installing Vectric 12.5.
wow.
No, that's been out, what, a couple of months maybe or more? I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah.
And I downloaded it, uh, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. And I just, for some reason, I didn't install it right away. I got busy doing something else, and I thought, okay, well, I'll come back later and do it. And I forget about it and all that. And then I thought, well, since I'm going to be talking about Vectric a little bit tonight, I'll go ahead and make sure I've got the latest, greatest, So I did get that installed and didn't have any problem. It, installed fine, and I haven't really used it today. I've just played around looking at a few things, but I'm sure there's got to be something new from version 12, but I haven't found it yet. If there is, it's just something I probably don't use anyway. But
Not to interrupt you, but Ryan is out there in the chat.
oh, is he?
Yep.
Happy birthday, buddy. Oh, happy birthday, Ryan. Yeah. I hope you're still getting around good and all that. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, Ryan. I didn't think you would be showing up in here as a on screen or off screen. So,
Well, the version 12.5 is a little prettier, isn't it?
well,
I
I
mean,
thought
that's
it looked a little bit different, and I'm like, well, if that's the big deal, that they made it a little. I hate when companies do that. I mean, I know them software engineers got to make it look like they're doing something, but when they just change the color of the background screen or modify the icons a little bit or something, that's just stupid. Just leave it alone and put in some real meat and potato features. And
there
one
are
of the
some
things I'm going to talk about later, I have a suggestion, and I didn't know I wanted it until just recently, but now I want it. And when I think about it, I'm not a software engineer or anything, but I would think it wouldn't be hard to do. And I'll touch on that lately. But first, I got a package in today from UPS. I'm dying to open it. I haven't opened it yet, and I thought, well, I'll just save it and we'll all look at it together. The box isn't beat up, so everything should be good. But let me go ahead and bring this up here, and I'll unbox this thing. Paul, you can probably already tell what's in there, can't you?
I can only hope.
What do you think it is?
Is it a thing that might hook onto your CNC and have a TV screen on it? And
Oh no,
then it's got to be Bamex.
no, it's not Bamex.
Oh, it's cutting boards.
I if anybody saw the video I put out last Friday, I think it was, I was using one of the inlay kits from Ryan over there at Cutting It Close, and that thing came out really nice. So I am now officially hooked. I am going to be a cutting board inlay nut, I guess. And hopefully I can improve my skills on each and every one. But
He
I
sure
ordered a
packs
whole
his
whole
he
bunch
sure
of them.
packs his stuff nice, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And once again, I'm getting a collection of these because I don't have it. It's over here. That's this little card he puts in here. You're on the right tool path. And then he writes a note on here. So yeah, I've got 3 of those now. Well, let's take a look. I keep forgetting this camera. Let me know if I get out of camera shot, Paul, or something.
All right.
But here's what I ordered. I went big this time. I ordered all kinds of stuff. This is one of the maple boards. This is one of the thin ones that will be used for an inlay. Let's see. Let me set these down. Get these clamps out of the way here. I'll just stack this stuff up right there. Okay, next I've got one of the maple. That's the thin one for an inlay. Then I've got Let me see which one this is. This one is not labeled, but I believe this is the Padauk, or some people say Paduke. I've been calling this stuff Paduke for years, and then one day I asked uh, Google AI what's the correct pronunciation, and they said Padauk. So
Hmm.
ever since then, I've been calling it that, and every time I say that, somebody looks at me like, "Oh, you mean Paduke?" So yeah, whatever, Paduke, Padauk, whatever you want to call it. All right, so there's 3 pieces for inlays. Now here is a big chunk of maple. And as you can see, if it looks shiny and glary, it's because these are all individually shrink wrapped. Just beautiful stuff. And let me say, just in case anybody's thinking it, I am not an affiliate with Cutting It Close or Drapella Works or whatever. But whenever I see a good product, I am. Oh, you know what? That one I just said was Padauk. That's not Padauk. That's the cherry. Because now that I've uncovered it, I see the Padauk under there. So this is another maple one. So this is the other one was, or I said maple. This one is walnut. So I'm gonna got enough to do 2 cutting boards, and I went ahead and bought extra. Basically, what I did is I bought a maple cutting board with the walnut inlay kit. Then I bought a maple cutting board with a walnut inlay kit, and then I bought a cherry, which is what I was showing a while ago. Yeah, this is the Padauk right here. So really cool. So I now have 4 inlay boards and 2 big old cutting boards. And the one that I'm going to start on next, I'm pretty excited about because it is going to be one of my own designs. And when I say my own designs, it's one of my designs with the help of AI. So, but a lot of the hard stuff I have to do. AI still, it's great, but it still has not got everything perfected yet. So, still a lot of work to touch up the files and stuff like that. So, but anyway, the one I've been working on, I've got several that I've been working on, but I've got one ready to go. It'll be a maple cutting board with a walnut inlay. And then I've got one coming right after that that's going to be a walnut cutting board with a maple and cherry inlay. So looking forward to doing both of those. But like I said, I'm not affiliated with Ryan and Cutting It Close or anything like that. But anytime I got somebody that's got a good product, um, I like to give them a shout out and show the stuff off because it's really, really good stuff. Let's see. Harry says, "Do you mean per duck?" Yeah, I've heard it called all kinds of stuff. But I think most people probably say Paduke. And I've always called it that too, just because everybody else did. And then one time I said, "Hey, whatever that thing is on Google," and I said, "How do you pronounce it?" And I spelled it, typed it in. And they come out and they say Padauk. So whatever. You call it whatever you want. It's pretty wood. I like it. Okay, where am I at here? Let me check my notes. Okay. Oh, one other thing I didn't show. Let me bring it back up here just for a sec, and I'll try to turn this without making you dizzy. I am now got my Harbor Freight 20-ton press assembled and outfitted with some plywood and flat MDF. So I am ready to press them inlays in this time. No more stinking clamps and keeping your fingers crossed until the next day that it doesn't work, you know. So anyway, that was I bought that last Friday. I was going to wait. I thought, heck yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go get it. I know I'm going to end up with it eventually, so went ahead and went and got one. I had to drive to Conyers to get it. At my store here, every time I want something, my store doesn't have it. I always have to go to the one either in Stockbridge or Conyers to get it. But
When you order online, do they have free shipping over X number of dollars or anything? Do you know?
no, I don't think
No.
so. They didn't on that, but and that was heavy. I would have had to probably get a truck with a lift gate because the driver wouldn't want. Even the guy at the store that he brought it out on a 2-wheel hand truck, and it was all me and him could do to get it in the back of my truck because I have I have that tonneau cover on the back of my truck, so when I drop the tailgate down, plus I have some wood and stuff in the bottom of it that I use it like a storage area. So we had to lift it up on that and try to slide it over. We had a hard time getting it up in there, but we made it. And then, of course, getting it home, I just dragged the box out to the edge of the tailgate where I can cut it open and pull pieces out at a time. That way, because I couldn't have picked it up. It weighed about 180 pounds, I think, the box did. So anyway, all right, let's look at some project pics. Have you seen that gentleman in,
I haven't seen him in there tonight.
okay, we had a gentleman in the chat last week named Russ. I want to say his last name's Gare, and I'm only pronouncing it that way because Care would be care, like you care about something. And his name was Gare. So, uh, yeah. So, anyway, the next day, he sent me an email and he says, "Hey, would you like to see some of my work?" I said, "Yeah, I love to see other people's projects. You know, send me whatever you got." He sent me about 4 or 5 emails. So I've got lots of pictures to show you. And we will go ahead and do that. And then we'll get started talking about the Carco Vectric stuff that I want to talk about tonight. Let me get one queued up over here. Yeah, it always opens up over here on the wrong side. All right, we're going to try to do this. Maybe I can make it work right.
Wow.
Okay, this, now he typed in a little bit of stuff to tell me what's going on here. He says, these are some things I'm making on the laser. I create my own designs in Lightburn. I found some filigree lids, and I don't know what a filigree lid is, but I'm guessing it's these things here.
Yep.
Is that what a filigree is, Paul?
It is.
Okay, I did not know that. I must have been out that day when we studied those. But anyway, he says, I found some filigree lids and thought they would make a cool lantern. And indeed it does. It says, it took me a week to do the design in Lightburn and 2 weeks to put the lantern together. It's 2 feet tall and 1 foot in diameter and made out of mahogany.
And by the way, he's out in the chat. He says he's working and lurking.
Okay, well, good. Well, I'm showing off your stuff, Russ. I didn't ask you for permission, but I'll ask for forgiveness if you don't want it, because I'm going to show them tonight. But anyway, so there's that picture. And then I think these other ones, I think is where it's just kind of spinning it around where you can see different sides of it, but a lot of intricate detail in there. Really liking that. And that mahogany, I got some of that mahogany. Well, they call it 1/4 inch, but it's it's really like 0.2 or something. But I got some of that one day when I was ordering the birch and they have different flavors of it, and I got a box of that mahogany one time to try it. In fact, I might still have another piece or two of that left over there. but it's gorgeous stuff. All right, so here's yet another view of it. So very cool lantern. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, I got to make sure I got this muted because, like, I think this one may be turned sideways or something. Looks like it might be. It says someone requested a surfer on a surfboard multi-layer light and asked if I could play the Beach Boys. So if I turn the sound on, you would hear, I think it's Surfing USA or something. That's why I've got it muted. So I won't get a copyright strike when I show this. But kind of hard to tell a little bit on that one. And I'm guessing that's 3D printed with all those different colors. Now here's the other one, and this one I got it muted also because you'd hear a Beatles song, which I'm sure would get me a copyright strike. But there's a nice thing with the Beatles. Okay, this next one's really cool as well. This is a video jukebox. And again, there's music playing, and I've got this one muted so as to avoid a copyright strike. But how cool is that right there?
That's really something, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, now where do you see this next? This is a 4D hologram box that he designed and 3D printed for the 4th of July.
Huh.
How cool is that? I have no idea how he did that. And probably if he explained it to me, I still wouldn't know. But let's run that back through there again. That is just too cool. Pretty cool stuff for us, I have to say.
It sure is.
Well, you know what? I said that was printed for 4th. That may be the one that's for Halloween. He's got, yeah, that would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, now I'm not sure which one of these is for the 4th of July or there's another one. Notice the live edge, or the, not live edge, but what do you call that?
Living hinge.
Living hinge, yeah. On there. That was really cool. Oh, there's the 4th of July one. Okay, so I guess that other one was the Halloween one. I got it wrong. And this one again has music playing, so I got it muted. But pretty cool stuff. Let's see. I don't know if there's, okay, yeah, here's the, he says, the military inlays I make and donate to veterans at the VA. I also make multi-layer LED lights. So that is very cool. I like that a lot. I really like that one. And I'm not sure, that might be, nope, there's something else here. And I'm not sure what this one is.
That looks like a coffee grinder.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, it must be because it's got the little drawer you pull out down there. So maybe I didn't print out all the info that he had on that. But really cool stuff, Russ. That's okay. And I think this is just some laser work on some live edge cookies, looks like. I don't know that I have any info on those. We got the Indian Chief there. There's another good one. All on the live edge. Piece of wood there. There's one a little scarier. Man, a lot of detail in that though. Look at all those lines in there. Okay, that must be it because I've run out of arrows there. But holy cow, good stuff, Russ.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for sending me those pictures.
Mr. Meadows is out in the chat.
All right. Hello, Russ Meadows. How are you? All right. I've got notes here so I can try to stay straight. I got one more picture to show. It wasn't in that mess, but let me show you another one. And then we were, uh, let's see. Where'd I put it? Let me get rid of that. There it is. Okay, now this is what's going to lead us into this next thing. This picture I snagged off of Facebook, and this is James Prestige, better known probably as James Dean Designs on YouTube's. Uh, but when I posted, I think he put this as a response to one of my things because I said, going to be talking about AI or something. I don't remember where I saw it, but anyway, uh, this was created. I don't know how many of y'all have heard, but Carvco's made kind of an announcement recently, and both our good friend Hamilton Dilbeck and James Prestige over there at James Dean Designs have done videos, and I'm going to put, as soon as I can get it up over here, let's see if I'm going to put these in the chat. So this first link will be to James Dean Designs, his video on the new Carco feature, which involves AI. And then let me also grab the one for Hamilton. They've both done really good videos talking about this new feature. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. That's why I'm posting these videos so you can go over and check it out if you haven't already heard about it. But anyway, Carco has this new thing where they are. I, I don't know how they did it. It's all over my head or above my pay grade or whatever. But they've now got this AI feature where you can create these things like I just showed you this picture to get 3D relief carvings. It'll generate it. You can use the AI. You can use, text to generate an image, or you can upload another image and get it vectorized or whatever. Um, and then there's some tools built into this new feature where you can adjust the V plane and take away some of the garbage in the background and all this kind of stuff. And this picture that I showed, I'll pop it up here again. This is one of them that was in the video that James Dean Designs did, and then he's showing a picture of it. He ran it also. So um, really cool looking stuff, and it's kind of got me going. I'm on Vectric. What do they got? It's like I've never even, Carpco's been around a while. Of course, Vectric's been around nearly forever. But I've just never once even thought about, giving up Vectric and going to Carpco. But now this kind of opens your eyes up a little bit because you're like, well, wait a minute. What did Vectric just do? Oh, that's right. They made it prettier, Paul said. It's a little prettier than what version 12 was.
But now they got to play catch up.
Yeah, I would say that just my 2 cents worth here. I would say that Carpco has now kind of went like this and has shot into the lead, and now probably for the first time in 20 years, Vectric's going to be going, well, wait a minute, we didn't see that coming. Now we got to get busy and do something decent. Um, but yeah, if you haven't already seen those videos by Hamilton and James Dean Design, go check them out. Uh, the links are going to be here in the live chat, and I'll also post them down below after the show ends, because I don't think I put them in there. I think I forgot to put them in there, but I'll put them in there so that anybody, if you're watching this on the replay or whatever, uh, but even if you watch this before I get the links posted, you'll know how to find those guys. Everybody knows Hamilton and James Dean Design. It's not like there's some little new channel. They've been around a while and they know their stuff. So,
Harry just put a good comment out there. It says, it's like Windows updates in the 90s. I see that it's different, but I don't see that it's better.
exactly.
I don't know that Windows has even ever got past that, because like Windows 11, it's different, but I don't know where it's any better unless I'm missing something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Windows 8, 10, and 11, if you ask me what the differences are, I couldn't tell you, because to me,
Mm-mm.
starting even back at Windows 8, they're all pretty much the same. At least the stuff I use. Maybe there's something hidden in there that's a gem. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, I'm not going to try to take a deep dive in this. Y'all need to go watch one or both of those videos and learn more about it. But I will say that, James, he's, he's one of those that talks funny and says aluminium. He's, he's over, he's over there across the pond. And I've actually tried to have him on this show, but we never had been able to work out the logistics because, there's quite a big time difference. Like it's what, 8:30 here, and it's dark 30 over there in UK where he's at. But anyway, he has been over here to the States. He was over here, I think, for Workbench Con, and he's met. In fact, there's videos that Hamilton did where he's hanging out with them and the Carveco guys and the Onefinity guys and stuff like that at Hamilton's shop, which is about an hour and a half away from me. But anyway, one announcement that they both made, and I will tell you that much, is that James and Hamilton are partnering up to start something, and it hadn't launched yet, but you can go ahead and sign up for it. They have a link on, I think, both of their videos that I linked here to this Carveco Academy. So you can go ahead and sign up, and get in on it right from the get go. But they're going to partner up and do what they're calling a Carveco Academy, and it is the official training thing for Carveco. So kind of a big deal right there. So now one thing about it, and again, this is totally different to me because I'm an old Vectric guy where I just, pay once, cry once, buy the software, and then cry a little bit more every time there's one of those updates that I have to pay for, which doesn't change anything, makes it prettier or whatever. But anyway, with the Carveco, as I understand it, there's what they call a perpetual license, which would be more like the Vectric, where you bought it, now you got it, but I don't know if you get any updates or whatever. You probably still have to pay for those. And then of course they have the subscription plan. Well, this new feature where you're using the AI, they're going to have it where you use like credits. And when you sign up to get in on this, you get so many credits to start with, and then you use them up as you use this feature, uh, this AI feature. And then, of course, if you go crazy on it and run out, you can buy more. You can purchase more credits. So that kind of a thing. But I think this is only going to be available if you're on the subscription plan. So if you're on the perpetual license and want to jump into this, uh, they will probably be sending you an email to invite you to switch to the subscription plan. So, but if you're really into 3D stuff and all that, the relief carvings and that kind of stuff, that would probably be a cool deal. Um, Now, let me just gripe a little bit. You know how I like to gripe about stuff. Like I said, I just found out something recently, or I discovered it, I guess. Something that Vectric doesn't do, which I'm really kind of surprised it doesn't do, and I wish it did do. But let me get my brand spanking new 12.5 opened up over here, and I'll screen share and try to show you what I'm talking about. And if I'm wrong and it does it somewhere and I just don't know where because I'm an idiot and haven't found it yet, somebody please enlighten me. But I have searched and searched and I don't think it can be done. Well, let me just share my screen over here. I've got a brand new screen over here. And of course, y'all know I'm getting into the cutting board inlays thing. So here I've got the typical size I use. And just to show you what I'm talking about, I'm just going to start out. We'll just say we want to inlay a big old star right here in the center of this thing. So we just do that like that. Okay, and then if I come over here, so, I know what I didn't do. Let me, well, it's probably in there by default, but let me come back over here and check this. Or it says material settings. Okay, that's good. It's set on Canadian maple. So there's where you set your material setting. You can tell it, and it will show up when you do the tool path. It'll show up as that color of whatever material you told it. So I'm just going to throw this in there, and this has got kind of the default settings and stuff I use. Oh, that's right. You got to do this. Okay, so now you can see this is got the wood grain, looks like Canadian maple, right? Okay, well, if I preview this star pocket, which is what this would be, you can't really get a good idea of what it's going to look like when you inlay. Let's say we wanted to inlay walnut in there. You can't really get a good idea. And of course, even when you do the plug side of it, you still don't know because it's only going to show up as maple if that's what you've selected. But what you can do, and this is what I've been doing, is I come here to the V carve and I come up here and I say, okay, toolpath color. And see, you've got colors here and you can do more colors, but there's no way to select walnut or cherry or Padauk or whatever you want to select. But you know that those are in the Vectric program because they're in a folder called Wood Images or something like that. I think that's what it's called. So I don't think it would be that hard for one of those engineers, when they're not too busy trying to make this look pretty, maybe write some real code and have it come where they change this and you could select the material color for the tool path. Because what I've been doing now is like if I want walnut, I come here and like this says brown, which is as close as I'm going to get to, a walnut color, I guess. So I can look at it like that, but I really got to kind of use my imagination and go, okay, so this is what a walnut uh, thing would look like. Now, of course, I'm still looking at the pocket. So, but what I'm saying is if you're looking at it straight on, this would be helpful, I think, for people that are doing inlays that want to see what it looks like when you put something in here. Now, if I come over here and let's say I want to put a circle in the middle of that, we'll just I don't know what that is, 3/4. That's good, I guess. And now we want to come back over here and we'll do another pocket thing for an inlay. And we'll do this. And again, we can't see, it's going to be always the color of the whole material if you don't give it something. But I'll come over here and change this to, I don't know, just something different. We'll use, I don't want to get too stupid looking. All right, let's just use this orange. Maybe that'll work. So we'll change that to orange right there. Okay. So now if we, oops, let me come back over here. Boom. Okay. Now, another thing I've been having to do to try to get it to do this, it doesn't show the orange because it's cut out. They're on the same plane here. So what I've been doing is coming to the first one and say, I'm going to screw this all up. I'm just going to say 0 and 10 thou on that one. Calculate that one. And then on this one, we'll go 20. Okay, so now, so there you go. That's how you can kind of simulate, but not really, what your inlays would look like. But am I an idiot, or does anybody agree with me that they already have the materials things, and you can even add your own? You can go to Google and get an image of some exotic wood that's not in their standard thing, and as long as you save it in a JPEG and in a certain size and put it in that folder, it then shows up, because I've got some that are in there like that. In fact, I think that Canadian maple, I don't know if that's one of the standard ones or what, but see, there's a bunch of different things in here, and you can add to this. And see, I can do regular maple. That's a little lighter, looks like. Let's see. So what was it? Canadian maple right there. But is anybody with me on this? Do you see how it shouldn't be that hard for Vectric
You're right.
to change that, because they've already got the pictures of the wood in a folder. So make it where for the people who want to do inlay, and plus they've got that so-called Vectric V-carve inlay toolpath. That's a special feature that I don't use. It's over here, and I tried it with that too, and it doesn't work. You can do like this and fake it to try to get an idea what these inlays are going to look like, but you can't change that. Like I cannot change this brown to walnut. If I come over here, or let's see, where is it? No, it's not in there. Okay, if I come over here where this is, and I go, okay, material color. See, it just changes everything to what's selected from the beginning, which is the the main blank, and that's not what I want. I want I want I want walnut right there. Dang it! It just seems like it wouldn't be that hard to do. So to me, once I figured this out, and then I started doing it like this, and I'm like getting disgusted, because I'm like, man, like I said, I'm no software engineer, but I don't think it would be that tough. You've already got the pictures of the wood. Just work on this right up here and have a spot where it says toolpath color, and when you click on this, you can click more, and then it would go to the wood grain shots, and you'd be able to change it to something. All you can do is change it to different colors. So that's my rant for tonight, I guess. I'm like,
Jerry says you ought to email him and ask.
well, I probably will, because I've been thinking about this uh, when I thought about,
That would be a neat feature.
yeah, yeah, exactly, Marcelo. All they are is image files, and they're actually. Bear with me a second. I'll hunt for them while. But if you go to see program data, and I'm going to share my screen once I get this. Vectric VCar Pro 12.5. Okay, here we go. So let me share this. So if you look here, up here at the top, you go to see program data, Vectric, VCar Pro 12.5, and then there's a folder called bitmap texture. So you click on that, and boom, shakalaka. Here's all the wood. And you can
Can
see
you,
how these aren't all the same size, because some of these are probably, a lot of these are ones I've added.
is there any way you can add those to the file where the colors are, or are the colors done a different way?
Well, I haven't been able to find where the colors are. See, when you come here, I poked around and I looked in all this stuff, but it's easy to find the wood picture. See, here's metal. You can put. I don't know why they don't have aluminum in here, but they got steel. That's kind of stupid.
Because them English people can't pronounce it.
Yeah, that might be. Let's see, here's marble, granite, and stuff like that. So you've got all kinds of stuff. Okay, now here's some. I don't think this will work, but let me try it. See, that's only 5 colors. But let me try taking, let's grab Padalk. And I'm going to make a copy, and then we'll come over here and we'll put it right here. And now we'll come back here. Of course, I'm going to save this. We'll just call it new. It don't matter what I call it, because I want to restart it, because it may not take uh, until you restart it.
I think those plastics are in that same drop down file for the types of wood, aren't they?
I don't know. Yeah, they might be. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, Dave, come on, you dummy. You got it. Gotta highlight the stuff. Let's just do that. There we go. Okay, there's the old way. Now if I come up to toolpath color, I don't see that Padalk anywhere.
No.
See, that's what I mean. It's all using the RGB type things where you put the number in and get the different colors. But it's just, the more I think about it, I'm like, man, you've already got the pictures of the wood there. Just fix it, you know. And you came up with that so-called V-carve inlay toolpath. Why didn't you think of it then? Because how do people get to preview? They got the nice feature, I think. I've always liked the feature of this, where when you do this, you can save the preview image. So if you're doing something for a customer, you can get a preview of it and save the picture and then send it to your customer to get them approval before you start cutting anything. I've always liked that, but they've been doing that part for years. But I don't think it'd be that freaking hard to add toolpath color and have somewhere on here where you got an additional drop down where it says wood or metal or whatever. Anything that they have in those other pictures should be here so you could put it in for an inlay, in my opinion. But what does old Dave know?
Makes perfect sense to me.
All right. I have watched the comments. Does anybody, yeah, Harry's way behind, 9 point something. Holy cow, Harry, come off the wallet, buddy. Let's see. Well, that's a good question, Kenneth, because like I said, it's like now they're went from being an industry leader to now they're chasing Carco, in my opinion. Um, and it also makes me think about something else. Regardless of whether Vectric jumps in the AI game and starts adding something similar to what Carco uh, is about to release. And I think, by the way, I think that's going to be released September 1st. So we're just talking a few days. Today's the 20th. So about 10 or 11 days, and that'll be going live. But regardless of whether Vectric gets in the AI, and most likely they will, do you think that at some point the market will be flooded with 3D models that are created with either Carco or Google Gemini or Chat GPT or all these other things, because all of them are getting better and better at this stuff. And in fact, I think it was in James' video talking about the Carco thing, and I know Hamilton did. He said if you create something, use that to create a STL that can be used for 3D printing or relief carving or whatever, you can sell it. So that's what I'm saying, that if we get all these folks that are now, and I don't want to be mean and say, well, they couldn't do it by doing it with Aspire and other software, they weren't really modelers, but now they can, but now they're AIers, we'll call them. And now they can type text in a prompt and boom, they've got relief models. It's like with anything when any really new technology comes out, it's always like this. They always use the word game changer or those kind of things. It's it's going to really change things. It's going to shake things up, and it's going to be so great. But then, like everything else, eventually somebody's going to use it the wrong way. I mean, if you come up with, a 3D model to sell, it's just like the way files are now. People sell files all the time for STLs and different things. And there's always these unscrupulous people that will buy the file, or maybe they don't even buy it to start with, but they might buy it for, $5 or something to start with. And then they're not supposed to share it, but they either share it or they put it on their website to sell, you know. So I can see this turning into something really cool, but also turning into a big pile of pretty quick. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. But yeah, back to your question, Ken. I don't know how Vectric can just go, well, I know, boys, we got a pretty user interface. I just don't think Carco can compete with us because look how pretty ours is. You know, I think they're going to have to jump in. I think, and I'll say this too: anybody that's not using AI for helping them do things or whatever, if you are a maker and you're thinking, nah, I'm just going to stay old school and do it, you're going to get left behind. You will be left behind. I have, because I was kind of that, you know me, I'm about as old school as it gets when it comes to some things. And heck, it took me forever to put limit switches on my CNC. I ran the thing for years, no homing switches, no nothing. But, you know, the more I have played around with that AI, the more I like it. And I'm like, you know, yeah, it's not perfect. It don't make it where I can just load it in and then not have to do anything. But what it does do is stuff that there's no way in heck I could have done. But I can bring that in and clean it up and make it better and make it where it will work. In my case, I'm doing it for uh, the inlay thing. So I'm making all the things where you don't make something so tight that the bit, even that little pointy bit, can't get in there. You widen it out a little to get it where it'll go in there. Um, so it's still a lot of work, but it does save a lot of work too. All right, let's read some of these questions here. Andy says he has a feeling Vectric is working on that. They have to, yeah. And it makes me wonder uh, if they, you know, if this caught them off guard
You know
because,
what they'll probably do? They'll probably introduce it on the next upgrade that you have to pay for.
well, the timing is pretty interesting to me because James mentions in his video, and I hope y'all will go watch those videos. But James mentioned in his video that Carvco had been very quiet this year, but him and probably Hamilton, maybe a couple of select people that were beta testers, were shown this back in, I think, February, whenever that workbench.com thing was on, workbench.com, I guess it is. Uh, so, you know, they've been keeping it all under wraps. And now it's only, you know, like I said, it's supposed to be launching September 1st. And now they're giving Hamilton and James and whoever else is the beta testers. I think there's a handful of them, giving them the okay to go, okay, do a video on it now and start getting the buzz going and all that. But I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. I really do. Jerry says, I want to be hooked, but never done an inlay yet. Jerry, did you see my last video, the cow? Not the first cow I did. That was face grain, and that was just a practice. But that um, one I just released Friday, that was technically my first ever in grain cutting board inlay, and it couldn't have been any more perfect. But I didn't just wing it and throw something in there. I've studied YouTube videos for hours and hours and hours, watching, catching a little tidbit here when they flash on the screen. Hey, that bit, this feed rate, this depth of cut, blah blah blah. And I have tried different settings from different people, and I found one that worked perfect right out of the rip, basically on that. Because, like I said, that was my first ever in grain cutting board inlay, and it came out just jamming. And that's even without my press. I didn't have my press then. I just had to clamp it and keep my fingers crossed that it came out good. So uh, now, Jerry, like I said, I'm not affiliated with Ryan. If you go over there and order a whole bunch of inlay kits from him, I ain't gonna get a penny because I'm not connected with them really in any way other than a customer. But that's a great way to give it a shot. Go over there and buy. If you want to get the cheapest one they have, get a maple cutting board, which is the thick piece, with a walnut inlay, which is the thinner piece. That's $99. That will get you started to
And
try that.
if you put it in your cart and don't check out and wait a day, you might get 10% off.
Yeah. Well, my buddy Marty over there at Mitchell Woodworks LLC, he's an affiliate, and I can't remember what his code is, but go check him out. It's Mitchell Woodworks LLC on YouTube, and he has uh, a discount code on his. I think it's Mitchell 10 something. Maybe it's Mitchell. I don't know. I don't want to say because I don't know for sure. But he is an affiliate, which I didn't even know Ryan did that. I didn't know he had affiliates. But let me tell you something else I did. Yeah, let me cue this up and show you something else. If I can get it over here, I'll get it all queued up before I. Oops. Oops.
Marcelo wants to know if you think using the press will also help keep the board flat.
I don't know. I hope so. Time will tell, I guess. Okay, let me get this screen up here, and I want to show you. Now, this is their website with these kits. But I'm going to tell you something. Here's what you do. You know, I put out that video last Friday, and then later that afternoon, I came over here and ordered all that stuff you just saw me pull out of that box a while ago. Well, you notice this guy right here? Does that look familiar? This guy?
Yep.
I had already made a video, so it only took me a couple of minutes to open up my movie editing software and throw in a few clips and make a short video. This is about 60 seconds worth of video here. There you go. You'll get to see the results I got. So when you buy something from Ryan, you'll get an email, with him wanting feedback, wanting to know how it went and all that. And if you upload pictures of your project, you will get 8% off your next order. You'll get a discount code. They'll send you an email with a discount code and you'll get 8% off your next order. But if you do a video like this, you get 12% off your next. So now I don't know if that changes the more you do it or what, but that's why when I bought, you saw what all I bought. I bought 2 full kits and then 2 extra pieces of inlay blanks. Um, the walnut cutting board with the maple inlay, that's $120. Just the opposite, the walnut cutting or the maple cutting board with the walnut inlay is $99, and that's because walnut's more expensive than maple is. And then the Padauk, I think, was, I want to say, $45 for that inlay blank. And then the cherry, I think, was, I want to say, 30 or $35 for that one. Anyway, my whole order was about $300. But when you order over $150 worth, you get free shipping. So I didn't have any shipping. I got the 12% off because I did a review and uploaded that 60-second video that you see there on the screen. And there's no tax in Texas. I'm charging no tax. So I got all of that for, I think my total bill was like, started out close to 300 and it was 200 and just under $260, I think. And if you take the 6 pieces of wood I got and divide that into there, that's about 40 something bucks. I couldn't go out there to my shop. I couldn't go get in my truck, go get the wood, come home, spend all that time and do all that for 40 something bucks. I just wouldn't do it. So this is a great way if you're just doing an occasional cutting board. Now, if you're in the business where you're getting set up to, you know, that's how the guys that do these make good money on them is they're getting a bunch of wood and cutting it all up and gluing them all up, 10 or 12 at a time. That's like anything. When you can do a lot of them, you can make better money at it. But okay. Let's see here. That looked like walnut. I don't know how long ago that comment was. Yeah, that one I held up. The first one I said was Padauc. I forgot that's not Padauc. That's the cherry. And then the real orangey looking one is the Padauc. I'm pretty sure. He didn't have them marked in any way. So, but I think that's if you saw that little video, or not video, but that little picture that was in Vectric of Padauc, that looked like that darker reddish one. So anyway, oh yeah, I'm way behind on the comments. Jerry just show the pic of me and Jack. No, I'm not going to show that silly thing. No, the only reason I did that is somebody the other day, actually an old high school classmate of mine. I post a picture of Jack on my Facebook page every day, and they said, "Man, get a neighbor or something to take a picture, hold the camera and take the picture of you." And I thought, I don't have anybody around here to do that, but I thought, well, I'll set the tripod out there. But what I had to do, I can't set it out there and try to shoot pictures. I just turn the video on and then wait for Jack to come around, and because he don't know he's not a good poser when it comes for photography. So yeah, so I just used the tripod, shot a video of, I don't know, probably a minute and a half, whatever, and then just brought it in, grabbed a couple of screenshots. So. But that was for my old classmate. Just, I guess she wants to see how ugly I've gotten over the years. She should have taken the hint, knowing that I only post pictures of my dog, and that's what my profile picture is. So I saw a comment a while ago somewhere. Where'd it go? These things keep moving on me. Well, I don't know where it went. Yeah, more than likely, I see this comment here. Jerry said he was watching another channel where the people said all the AI content from your prompts are from creators that made them, and some are even paid for their work. Yeah, there's no doubt. If you bought a lot of files, you probably already bought one that was done with the help of AI. Okay, John says right here, go back to my other comments info for you. All right, now I got to scroll way back up. Let's see if I can find it, John.
I think he was talking about.
They don't have a big enough window for comments on this EV Mux thing, because you can only see like 2 or 3 at a time, and you got to scroll slow or you miss something. That's all. Whenever I'm looking, John, we'll see if we can find it.
Oh, I think this is it where he says that's like the Vista sculpt program he told you about.
Oh, okay. I downloaded that and I still have not installed it. I keep forgetting about it. Okay, that obviously wasn't the right comment. But I saw another one. Let me go back here to the bottom and scroll up slowly.
Oh, one before that one, he said.
Okay, here's one. JR was saying it's pretty fun to make your own cutting boards instead of buying even in grain. Should give it a go. Well, I haven't made uh, a whole cutting board, but I was doing some testing to try to test out some settings so I wouldn't blow the material that I'm paying for from cutting it close. Uh, and I'd go out there and pull some cherry or whatever I had out there in the shop and cut it up and then glue. That's why I know what a pain in the ass it is to do that stuff, because it's not that I can't do it. I've got the table saw and the bandsaw and chop saw and all the equipment I need to do that. But that's, as I've said before, that's not how I want to spend my time. I want to spend my time doing my own designs instead of just cutting some file that somebody else did. Now, that first file I did, the one I just showed, um, that is one I bought from Browenwood because I thought if I buy that file from him, I know that if it doesn't come out right, it's something I did. The file is good. So now that I know that, I know the settings he uses, and I basically copied the same settings, only I did mine in imperial measurements instead of metric like he did. And it came out perfect. So the next project I do will be one that I have designed with, like I said, with the help of AI. I'm not going to take full credit, but
Hey, John, you're going to have to give me a bigger hint, or else just repost it if you would.
yeah, just unless we see something ahead of time and star it, like we can star them, then you can't. It's too hard. Like I said, they have a crappy uh, thing. You can only see 2 or 3 comments at once here when you're scrolling. Kenneth says, think that could split or crack a board if the plug isn't perfect. Well, if the plug isn't perfect, you're going to know it before you stick it in the press. It should go in there just like a puzzle piece. And probably a better chance of cracking it is when you're tapping it in with a hammer before you set it in the press. But yeah, I would. Now I'm not saying the press couldn't crack it, but I
So
would think.
now I gotta invest in cutting boards and a press and all that kind of stuff. And my workshop's messy enough as it is. So you're causing me problems, Dave.
Well, that's what I'm here. That's what I'm here for, Mr. Corliss. I can't be the only one going down these rabbit holes. I like to
You,
drag somebody in with me.
I need you to live a little closer to me so I can use your press.
Okay, all right. Well, if you're going to move down, you better do it now before winter hits. Because
Yeah.
although you're surely
You,
used to
you
rougher
got
winter.
them poisonous snakes down there, though.
Not poisonous, venomous.
Venomous,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're only poisonous if you eat one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you get
that's what
them
all the
venomous.
Facebook experts don't dare put something about a
Don't dare
poisonous
put
thing because all them
poisonous, huh?
Facebook experts will straighten you out right quick.
Oh.
No, it's not poisonous, it's venomous.
Well, you got them venomous snakes.
Yeah, and knock on wood, I hadn't seen any. I hadn't seen any. Yeah, Marcelo's already in that rabbit
He's
hole.
already in the rabbit hole.
Well, I'll probably run into you down there at the bottom of it somewhere, Marcelo, because
I think he makes his own end grain boards, doesn't he?
yeah, I imagine he does. And like I said, if that's what you enjoy doing, then by all means do it. But if you look at the prices at the cutting it close stuff, and again, I'm not trying to sell you. I don't make nothing off if you go buy one. I care less, really. But if you're kind of on the fence about wanting to try one of these, like I was, but you don't want to spend all that time preparing the blanks and all the stuff you got to do, try one of these. Just $100, get the maple with the walnut inlay, and then do a simple file that you can get somewhere, and you'll be hooked after that. And then whether you want to keep buying the blanks already made or do them yourself, that don't matter to me either. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not making any money off of you guys buying anything from cutting it close. I just like to brag on a company when they've got good stuff, and this is good stuff. It really is. I'm really happy with, and I can tell already just look at those things. They're flat as can be. I'll leave them, since I just tonight took them out of the box. I probably won't. Uh, it may be Friday, maybe even Saturday before I start that next project when I open up the.
Marcelo says his boards are 20 by 16 by 1.75 inches.
Yeah, yeah. These come, if you didn't catch it when I was showing earlier, these all come 12 by 18, and the thickness is usually about 1.7. And then for the inlay blanks, he tries to get them about 5/8 or about 625. They may be a little more, they may be a little less. Uh, but he said he doesn't like to make them too thin because then they're a little fragile when you're trying to get them up off the table if you use CA glue and tape and stuff. But if you ever watch Proen Wood, he does all his a 1/2 inch because he doesn't want to waste that wood, so he makes all the inlay things a 1/2 inch. But he's really gentle with a chisel, trying to get up under there and ease it up. And you can see when he pops it up, it's a little flimsy, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't break it. Let's see if I've covered everything I was going to. I think I have. So yeah, if you're interested in doing 3D relief carvings and want to get in on that thing with Carvco, check it out. Like I said, go watch Hamilton's and James Dean Designs video links I put in the thing, and I'll put them down below right after this. And they'll give you more info than I did. But you do have to be on a subscription plan in order to get that. But I think they do have a free trial, and they'll give you so many credits so you can, play around with it, kick the tires, that kind of thing. So anyway, all right. Well, I guess we're going to get out of here. Paul, you got anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think I am tomorrow. I won't do it tonight, but I think tomorrow I will. Maybe try to send an email to Vectric and ask them, like, hey, you got the wood images in that folder. How about figuring out a way to put them in there for us people that do inlays to be able to get a preview? So I don't think it would be that hard. But getting them to do it, they might have to be, they might say they don't have time, they got to work on that. Like we're way behind Carco now. We ain't got time to do that. We got to get on that AI business.
What would even be slicker is if you could take and put your your cutout on one layer or one sheet, and then have another sheet with your insert and make it a different kind of wood, and
Well, you
then
can have them
import it
on different
in
sheets, but I don't think you can change the color. I think because I tried that once before. Now I haven't done it with 12.5, but with 12.0, I tried it, and whatever you change it to, the material thing, that changes everything.
everything. Okay.
You know, whether it's the plug or the
And you
pot.
can't combine something from one sheet with something on another sheet, can you?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so either.
Like I said, I'm not asking them to make it where I can take that inlay plug and put it on there, and you know, I'm not asking for all that. All I want to do is kind of simulate it to get a preview of what it would look like, but not have to use stupid colors. Try to get the real wood picture. And I don't think that would be that hard. But I may send them an email, see if I get any response. I'm not good for some reason. I'm not good at getting responses back to emails. You know, I never did hear from Redline last week. You know, last week I told you I sent an email. Although I did get tired of waiting around, and I sent a message through Instagram. You talk to somebody, but that's for another show, maybe. I don't want to get my blood pressure worked up talking about them right now. But I do know some other folks, and I won't mention any names. I do know some other folks inquired to Onefinity about what the deal is with the Redline company. Who are you? Where are you at? How long you been in business? That kind of thing. And as far as I know, when I last checked, they had not received a response. So
Speaking of
not getting
Onefinity,
good vibes about that company for some reason.
did you happen to see on the Onefinity forum today that somebody asked about the 8 foot uh,
Oh,
machine?
the full
And
eight.
they said that's just a prototype and an idea, and if they produce it, it's many, many months away.
Who said that?
Onefinity did in the forum today.
Uh, and it was a Onefinity person that said that?
Yeah,
Well, that's interesting. Maybe they're, you know, I'm just speculating here, but maybe they're after people have had time to think about it. Maybe they're going, I don't know.
yeah, maybe not.
So maybe they're getting a lot of people getting cold feet. You know, maybe that first they thought, oh yeah, it's great, and then they thought about it a little while and like, nah, that's not so great. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't matter to me either way. I don't care what they do. Uh, it don't matter to me. All right, well let's get out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We've had a pretty decent little crowd here tonight. Um, Marcelo, if you've got any recent awesome inlay pictures you can send me, I'd be happy to show them off for you. Plus, I'd love to see them anyway. So, just saying. All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, Paul, we'll go ahead and get ready to hit the button.
when I see Marcelo's stuff, I always get an inferiority complex.
I know. I know. Maybe I shouldn't see any pictures. Then I might want to quit.
His stuff is so good.
Yeah, it is good. But just makes me want to do it. You know, I've watched that growing wood guy. Uh, I've watched so many of it. I can't even find a new one to watch. One that I haven't already seen. I've watched them all probably a half dozen times at least, and I just don't get tired of watching them. It's so, you know, it's just really cool watching somebody that really knows what they're doing making
Yeah.
those things. So, just be a little inspiration. So. And I have high hopes since that first one I did turned out. Maybe the next half a dozen I do won't turn out, which is a good possibility, but at least getting one under your belt that came out really good, then you know, okay, well, I can do this. I may not be able to do it next time, but I can do it. So I'm going to try it anyway. So, all right, well, if that's going to do it for this one. If you're not doing nothing Saturday night, go watch Making It Up As We Go. Birthday boy will not be there, but I'll be sitting in for him. And I don't know what we'll do. We'll shoot the breeze about something for an hour or so. Paul will be there, Sean will be there, and I'll be there. So we'll help celebrate Ryan's big 5-0. So all right. Anyway, good night, everybody. We will see y'all on the next one.
Night, everybody.